Hello, my name is Jeremy from Converse English, and today I want to talk to you about Stanag Level 3 speaking, and more specifically, common mistakes that candidates make. As many of you know, I was an examiner in Łódź at the Central Commission for over 15 years, and so as you can imagine, I've seen a few candidates. So today, I'd like to go through first the briefing and then the discussion and guide you through some of the points. So let's get started. A common mistake is to think that the briefing is some sort of presentation or you are talking to a civilian audience. Remember, this is a military briefing, so you brief your commander or whoever is the senior officer in the room. Therefore, try talking to the candidate and addressing them as sir or ma'am. Often candidates try to repeat the whole instructions or actually read them word for word. Remember, you should internalize the instructions and make it your briefing. Sometimes, probably because of stress or they feel that they are in a rush, they forget to actually outline the general situation. This is extremely important in a briefing, so please make sure you first start with the situation and then go on to describing the options. Sometimes candidates forget to talk about the disadvantages of option A, for example, and then go straight on to option B. Or they forget the advantages of option B and only talk about the disadvantages. Remember, it must be a balanced briefing. Although there's not a rule to say you have to have 2 advantages and 2 disadvantages, it's definitely better to do so. It will also allow you to use more terminology to demonstrate your ability. Obviously, during the briefing then, it's important not to repeat yourself. You need to come up with new ideas and introduce each one in a clear and ordered way. Remember, when you get to choosing your option and giving your recommendation, you need to fully justify your idea. It's no good saying, okay then, I recommend option A. Are there any questions? This would be a fail in my view. You need to give a clear reason why option A is better than option B. Moving on to the discussion then. Remember, it's supposed to be a conversation between 2 people. It's not a formal presentation. So you don't need to have long introductions. You need to just internalize the instruction and to begin the conversation. Remember to make the conversation as natural as possible. Engage with your partner. Actually enjoy it. Try and have a proper conversation. Although, of course, advanced vocabulary is important in the exam, it must be used at the right place. Don't try and make sentences too jargon heavy. Too much terminology can actually be a bad thing. Remember, you have to actually listen to your partner. That is an important thing that you will actually be marked on. So you need to actually respond to what they say and don't just start a new thread immediately. That means you actually need to incorporate what they say in your answer, comment upon it before you carry on. It's important not to dominate, and it's also important not to be too passive. The conversation needs to be equal. Remember, it's important to justify everything you say. You cannot just mention something and then move on to the next option in the list. In the third part, or part 2 of the second task, where the examiner asks you questions, it's important to elaborate on your answers. If you give vague answers or you start giving some personal stories like it was a level 2 exam, you will lose points. So it's important to give expanded answers with logical justification. Try not to be overly formal. It's supposed to be a spoken English exam. So although, as I said earlier, advanced grammar is good, you cannot just invert every sentence. That also goes for linking expressions. Some linking expressions are obviously necessary. However, you need to use ones appropriate to spoken English. You cannot just use ones that you would use in an essay. Okay, I hope that gave you an idea of some of the common problems with the speaking exam. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more information on Stanag exams. See you next time.